Gentlemen, it's only 2026 and there are already cars that won't make it to 2027. Yes, that's right. Just like you heard. Models that were recently in dealerships, shining, and that some people passionately defended in the comments. Today, they already have an expiration date. They're done. And the most interesting thing isn't that they're leaving, but why they're leaving. And pay attention, because if you own one of these vehicles, your vehicle could lose a lot of value. And that's a problem you wouldn't want to deal with, because if the resale value drops, it's going to hurt you. So pay attention, because there are several models, some of them popular, some of them you wouldn't expect. Here are silent failures, questionable strategic decisions. There are also recalls, what they call massive recalls, which were part of the reasons why these tough decisions are being made. And even humanoid robots are involved in these, which are replacing legendary cars. Stay until the end, because one of the names on this list, one of the vehicles, is going to hurt you, especially if you like or love the V8. Let's go one by one. Welcome. This first vehicle I'm going to talk to you about isn't very popular in other countries, but in the United States it has a good reputation. It's the first on the list. It's the Acura RDX. This brand isn't sold in some Latin American countries, but we're starting with an interesting case. This Acura RDX. Technically, Acura is ending production of the current RDX, and it won't exist as a 2027 model. But here's the catch. It's not a definitive end. It's more like a pause. Let me explain. The RDX has been one of the brand's most important luxury compact SUVs for years. It has a 2.0-liter turbo engine, handles well, has a sportier focus than a Lexus NX, and is more youthful than an Infiniti QX50. But Acura confirmed that a hybrid replacement is coming. Yes, the problem is the timing. It won't arrive in 2027 and it might take a couple of years, in quotes, because that's what the brand has told us. And here I show you a photo of what they call a teaser. A preview, which is clearly what it is. But would it be the RDX hybrid? That one would come in the future? In other words, there will be a gap. And if this seems like a relatively smooth transition to you, wait until we get to one later on, which won't have a replacement, won't have an electrified version, and won't get a second chance. That's when the tone of the conversation changes. Now we move on to something that seemed like the future and ended up being a victim of the present. Chrysler, this brand that has struggled to survive here in the United States. The Chrysler Pacifica hybrid version. It was one of the first plug-in hybrid minivans on the market, introduced in 2017. It offered something very logical, a family space with the possibility to move around the city in electric mode. But Stellantis, which is the parent company that manufactures Chrysler products and other brands like Jeep and Dodge, is completely rethinking its electrification strategy in the United States. And when a company starts to rethink things, someone pays the price. In this case, the price is being paid by the Chrysler Pacifica hybrid, if you have a Chrysler Pacifica, because a lot of people in the United States have bought it, and I understand that it's also sold in Mexico. Let me know in the comments how it's worked out for you. It's not that it was a disaster. In fact, in terms of urban efficiency, it was brilliant, but sales weren't enough to justify continuing to invest in it. Under the new plan, yes, low sales results. The conventional minivan is still alive, the plug-in hybrid is going away. It's over, no more. And now, let's be clear. Let's go with another one from the Stellantis brand. It's a Dodge. Which one? Probably hardly anyone will miss it after 3 years on the market. Although lately I have seen a few Dodge Hornets on the highways, but not many. I mean, it wasn't a Camry, it wasn't a Corolla, but yeah, I was seeing them around. But less than 40,000 units sold in its entire commercial life, since it came out there. I'll show you pictures from my test drive. I think this was in Tennessee, when they launched the Dodge Hornet. They invited me to test it. I thought it was an interesting car, but well, in automotive terms, it's invisible. It was basically a model built in Italy with DNA shared with Alfa Romeo, but sold with the Dodge badge. And even though it had good intentions, it never really managed to convince anyone. I don't know if you have a Hornet, but also let me know in the comments what you think, if you liked it or not. Perception problems with the Hornet. Positioning problems, pricing problems, sales problems. Those issues need to be solved. And basically the brand is saying no more. And obviously tariffs and taxes also played a role. And when a model doesn't take off, on top of that, it costs more to produce it because of external factors. The decision is cold, it's gone. Let's move on to the next vehicle. Now things get more interesting. Pay attention to this. The Jeep Grand Cherokee or Grand Cherokee, of course, but which one? Which version? The 4xe was presented as the electrified future of Jeep. They made a huge fuss about it, with a lot of fanfare. What will the future hold? Well, an iconic SUV that had plug-in hybrid technology, up to 25 miles of electric range, power generation, and efficiency. In theory, it sounded really good to a lot of people, maybe perfect for you. But in 2025, something happened that changed the outlook. A recall, a massive recall, that affected more than 90,000 units. And when you combine a changing corporate strategy with a technical problem of that magnitude, the result is usually not optimistic. The traditional Grand Cherokee continues as is. Just so you know, if you own a regular gasoline Grand Cherokee, that one doesn't have any issues. I know it sells well and does great in some countries. And the curious thing is that later on we'll see two models that aren't disappearing because of low sales, recalls, or lack of technology. They're going away for something much more unexpected. Something that has to do with the future of the industry, but not necessarily with cars. I'll explain that later. It sounds confusing now, but it'll make sense. That's when the story gets even more interesting. All right. And now we're moving on to another vehicle that will surprise many people, which will be discontinued by 2027. They won't make it anymore. They won't build it anymore. But before that, if you're enjoying this information, I ask you to give me a like. It doesn't cost you anything. And subscribe to the channel where I have this information. It's useful for many people who have these vehicles, many people who want car reviews. If you give it a like and subscribe to the channel, the videos can reach more people, and together we can help other people make the right buying decisions to guide them when it comes to new vehicles. And also, as you know, I have reviews, I have rankings, industry news, and lots of updates, so I appreciate your subscription. And well, we continue with the same brand. With Jeep, the Wrangler 4xe is also saying goodbye. And I had the opportunity with that one. I believe the images I'm showing you were recorded by me when I tested the vehicle for 7 days. There was a lot of excitement about it. Same story, same context. The plug-in hybrid Wrangler had similar problems and was part of a recall called an even bigger review. More than 228,000 units were affected. That's a huge number. The traditional Wrangler with conventional engines. That one is still solid. Just so you know, don't worry Jeep fans. Jim Wranglers is not affected. That one is still solid and there's no problem with it. I have several videos with the Rubicon, for example, which is an icon. A legend, but the electrified version won't survive, and in 2027 you won't see it anymore. You won't be able to get a new one in 2027. It's interesting, because just a few years ago it seemed like everything was moving toward plug-in hybrid technology. I mean, the plug-in electric as an intermediate solution. Now, several brands are backing down. Yes, they're backing down and reversing that decision, but this is a changing industry and we have to adapt. Well, what's next? You might not even know this one or know what it is. But I have to tell you because in 2027 it's going away. If you thought the Karma Revero was already dead, well, surprise, it was still alive until recently. For those who know it, this luxury electric sedan is the spiritual successor to the original Fisker Karma. It managed to stay in production for 5 years, longer than many imagined. But finally, they've decided to end its production. It will be replaced by the new Acura, with a new powertrain and a new approach. And now, here's one that's going to hurt a lot of people because this brand is highly respected and admired here in the United States. I know it's not everywhere, but it's about a Lexus. And yes, it's going to hurt a little. It's the Lexus LC. A coupe with a V8 engine. The V8 spectacular design, glorious sound. It looked really good. Handcrafted interior, beautiful, beautiful. It wasn't a bestseller, it never was, but it was a true symbol. The LC debuted as what you call a statement car. It was proof that Lexus could be something emotional, not just rational, something that appealed to the emotions of its buyers. The hybrid was already gone by 2025 and now the V8 is also gone. And here's an uncomfortable reality. V8s and two-door coupes have less and less space in the market. Unfortunately, the LC isn't dying because it's bad. It's dying because the market changed. And believe me, in a few years, I assure you that many people will say, "Do you remember when Lexus used to make a V8 like that?" Well, that's what's going to happen with the LC, just like it happened with other models. And now, we've reached the unexpected twist. An electric one? The Tesla? Which one? The Model S? Model S? That one is going away. Also, the sedan that revolutionized the industry in 2013 and changed how people saw electric cars put Tesla on the global map. Yes, economy. After more than a decade and several years, several facelifts, production is being discontinued. What's the reason? Well, Tesla, pay attention to this, needs space in its Fremont plant to manufacture humanoid robots. Optimus. Yes, robots. It's not that the Model S is irrelevant, it's that the company's priority is shifting toward artificial intelligence and robotics. Like everything, even the factory. Now it has this look. This is me, live and direct. Here I am now, but probably in the future you'll see a hologram here, or a person who looks just like me. Speaking of cars, well, right now it's me. If you pinch me, it hurts. But going back to Tesla, the factory has to choose between producing more Model S or moving forward with its most ambitious technological bet. Do you already know which is winning now? Artificial intelligence or the robots? And before we look at the next vehicle, if you're looking to buy, or you're soon going to the dealership to a dealer, you'll soon have to buy a vehicle. It's important that you keep your mouth shut at the dealership, because there are things that if you say them, they can be used against you and you'll lose money. I wrote a book called Keep Your Mouth Shut at the Dealer and enjoyed it. It's a buying guide that tells you things, mistakes that many buyers make, things they say, that fall into certain question traps they're asked and end up paying more money. In this video's description, I explain how to get it. Take a look. It's called Keep Your Mouth Shut at the... Now, let's discuss another Tesla model that's being discontinued. Along with the Model S, the Model X is also leaving Model X, the SUV with the falcon wing doors, which in 2015 looked like something out of a science fiction movie. That one is also leaving. It was never a high-volume model. It was always expensive, exclusive, eye-catching. But, just like the Model S, it's aging within the lineup, and Tesla is focusing its efforts on more mass-market models like the Model 3 and the Model. And, in addition to its future projects, as I mentioned earlier, so that's the story. Two historic electric pioneers are reaching the end of their life. Alright, let's recap then. By 2027, we won't see which ones anymore. Acura RDX, the current Chrysler Pacifica, the hybrid version of the Dodge Hornet, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Not the gasoline one, but the 4X, the plug-in hybrid Jeep Wrangler. But don't worry, the Wrangler 4X, the plug-in hybrid Karma Revero. Maybe you don't even care, but anyway, another one that's painful is leaving too. The V8 Lexus LC is also going away. And two from Tesla, Tesla Model S and Tesla Model S. Personally, Tesla's designs don't really do it for me. I don't like them that much. But the Tesla Model S, you know, it had a nice, pleasant, interesting design, good styling. And what about the Tesla Model X? Some are discontinued due to low sales, poor sales results, which obviously forces manufacturers to make decisions. Others are discontinued because of technical problems, recalls, massive failures, and others simply because of a strategy. The future isn't always as expected. The industry is changing, and that's reality. The interesting thing is that we're just in the first month. Well, not the first month. We're in the first quarter of 2026. This list will probably grow, and I'll keep you updated about it later on if more are added. Because, of course, with the year just starting, there might be more vehicles added to this list. So, it will need to be updated at some point. Yes, that's undeniable. The industry is changing faster than ever. Electrification, artificial intelligence, the whole issue with tariffs, restructurings, well, all of that has an impact. And in the middle of all that, some cars just can't adapt. They don't sell. People don't like them. Now, I want to know your opinion. Which of these hurts you the most? Which of these do you own? Do you think any of them deserved a second chance, or do you think the market is just cleaning up? What didn't make sense to you? Did it make sense for any of these to continue or not? Did you love, hate, or dislike them? Let me know in the comments, because if there's one thing that's certain, it's that this won't be the last list of farewells we'll see this year. I appreciate you tuning in to my videos, to my channel. I'm going to leave a related video here as well, so you can take a good look and tell me what you think. For now, thank you very much. Greetings to all my friends in Mexico, Chile, Venezuela, Spain, Colombia, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Well, to all the people from Argentina who watch me, a big, big hug. I really appreciate your comments a lot. And those comments are great because they give me the opportunity to create videos based on them as well. So I pay attention. Well, I send you a big hug. Bye.